talk about two topics specifically in Q&A, audits and changing culture. So from an audit perspective, lots of resources for you. And somebody had mentioned that you were interested in learning about audits. So again, these slides will be available to you. But I want you to know why we audit, how often, what, and how. The Privacy Commissioner, one of the key decisions is Decision 13. That is the decision of Rouge Valley Hospital with the frontline staff who were selling the names of new parents and new babies. The commissioner, who wasn't the commissioner at the time, he was the assistant commissioner, said it is a vital way of ensuring that you are taking your responsibility of security seriously. There are generally two kinds of audits, targeted and random. A targeted audit, so somebody comes forward, I think your receptionist has told told his ex-girlfriend information. That's a targeted audit. That's not like, oh, let's randomly pick this receptionist, right? You're going to specifically look, what did she look at? So that's on a complaint. Sometimes you will do targeted audits on your celebrities, right? Your high-profile people. So sometimes that may be your team members or their families. You may also be doing targeted audits of locked charts, right? Charts that are subject to a consent directive. Those are all targeted audits.
I have a question about the team members and their families. A lot of times family members don't have the same name.
Yeah.
So unless you actually know
flag them,
who those family members are, you would never necessarily know. So when you have a staff member that joins, should you ask them, do you have any family members here who are patients? Or like,
so some people do that. Some people do that. And some groups, some family practices don't encourage, or they would say, you know what, we now recommend that your families receive care somewhere else. You don't have to do that. It just, obviously, those records are very tempting
for sure.
to people. So you do not have to get a whole list and who's starting a relationship with who, right. And so it's not a requirement of perfection that you find all things, but if you do know, then you might put a high profile flag on that. Now, so where you may be doing a lockbox particular targeted review, where there's a consent directive. Some systems have something called bump the glass. So when you have overridden a consent directive, that is they sometimes call it break the glass. But some of the systems are super awesome, and they will also say, someone made a query and they bumped. So they came up, I want to look at this person's record, but it was locked and they bumped off the record. But that would alert to say, this person is searching in particular for this person. And that might indicate, again, inappropriate activity. You don't have to have that, that's just something. So random audits. What are the expectations for you to do random audits? For example, you could do all personal health information accessed by a randomly chosen staff member during a specific period of time. Small teams, I recommend you do 1 day. One random staff member, 1 day audit. The scope is a 1 day audit. If you're bigger, you might do or they're not very active on the EMR, you might make that a 2-week period. Or all agents who looked at the health information of a randomly chosen client. And again, on a particular day. So these are your random audits. All agents who accessed a particular kind of electronic information system on a specific day. All agents who looked at the records of more individuals with the same last name. Right? So we usually do those on a monthly kind of a basis. How often do you have to audit?
If you can do it like once a month, that's good. If you can do it every quarter, but you have to be reasonable amount of clients for the client base you have.
So the Privacy Commissioner will almost always say monthly. Ontario Hospital Association, when you look at all of these different associations, they will talk about monthly. Well, how many charts? When you're small, 1 is good. Let's not get fancy, just do what you can. And if you're prompted, you have to audit immediately, right? So you're gonna do random stuff and prompt it as immediately. There's an audit calendar that I would recommend for you. One of the things that some of my teams do are high volume users. So sometimes there are reports that you can run. Who are my high volume users? This could identify, for example, if you had somebody selling the names of somebody, it's like, why are you printing out 1,000 people's names? You have nothing to do with that. Now, that will tweak a physician is closing her practice, right, and printed out a whole bunch of stuff. But it might also identify some weird things. In terms of, unless you're doing a targeted search, one day, it's very hard to find somebody on a random search. Very hard. It is highly unlikely that you're going to find somebody on a random search. The action of doing audits and telling people you are auditing is the most important thing. So when you do an audit and you say it's one day, that person can actually answer, oh, that was 2 weeks ago. What was I doing last Tuesday? Oh, I was doing this and this. So you can actually have a conversation, and it probably takes 2 minutes, and then you record that. But the fact of you going to that person and asking them, what did you do last Tuesday? That's going to spread like wildfire across the organization. Oh my gosh, somebody came to ask me what I was doing in patient charts last week. So it does depend on your size. There are standard reports, depending on your electronic health record systems. There may be standard reports that you can run. When you look at what the Privacy Commissioner requires, it says all of your electronic health information systems must have the technical capacity to log activities. You must make your agents aware that you do that. You should tell your agents about what you have found, right? So it should be your practice, hey everybody, we do these audits, here's what I normally find. And you should have a policy about logging, auditing, and monitoring. How do you do it? You run a search, you review your results. I will give you for the family health teams, one of my other family health teams gave me for 4 systems, Acuro, PS Suites, anyway, 2 more, Oscar and, sorry? No, not Nightingale. Sorry? No. But there are 4 systems. They gave me here's how to do an audit. So I will share that with you, and you can, yeah, I will. So it's like technically how to do it.